tifu being willing to do anything to make my GF orgasm. Last night my GF asked me to stop going down on her because she was not gonna climax and it was getting late. I said I was willing to keep going, but she said we both knew she never got off with anyone and nothing was gonna change that. I asked if she wanted to use one of her toys. She said she was not in the mood for toys. I said there must be something I could do to get the job done. She said it is what it is and encouraged me to focus on the fact that she enjoyed getting me off. At that moment she got dressed and prepared for bed. I was still naked and still struggling to accept the idea that my GF was doomed to always depend on toys to get off. I have nothing against anyone using accessories in the bedroom, but I could tell that deep down my GF would really like it if she could climax through human contact. My GF eventually got tired of hearing me go on and on about trying new things and figuring out ways to get her off that she finally interrupted me and said there was something we could do that might work. She said I was not gonna like it though. I said I was willing to do anything if it meant getting her across the finish line. My GF said okay, and opened her closet. She pulled out a hoodie and said her first BF had that on when he took her virginity. I asked why did she still have it. She shrugged and said she didn't know. I asked what did she want us to do with her ex's hoodie. She said I should put it on and let her get on top of me. Soon as I put it on, my GF became really dominant. She pushed me down and got on top. The animal inside of her came out. An animal I didn't even know existed. My GF didn't get off, but she milked every minute I had that hoodie on. My GF put the hoodie back in the closet when we were done and said she was willing to let me wear it again if I was still feeling passionate about trying anything to get her off. Not gonna lie, it was not the biggest confidence boost to realize that my GF was not only attached to her ex in some way, but also needed his personal belongings to bring out her wild side and potentially get her to climax, which I've been unable to do since the beginning of our relationship. All I wanted to do was make my GF feel good in bed and now it seems like I'm competing with her ex to do that. I hate hoodies now. TL, doctor, I made it clear to my GF that I was willing to do whatever it takes to make her orgasm. My GF said challenged accepted and gave me her ex's hoodie, which she believed would help her climax if I put it on during sex. The hoodie didn't make her come, but it definitely brought out her wild side. While setting my confidence on fire. Edit. ***, the ex-BF is dead. I should have included that information in my post. Sorry.
Condition that reaction to you. Wear the hoodie every time for a while, then slowly wear it less. Bingo, you've got an animal-like lover and it's all for you.
That ain't right. I wouldn't be with someone who still had a mental attachment to an ex. Let alone keep their clothing.
Put your aftershave on it, then wear that aftershave when not wearing the hoodie. She might choose the scent over the hoodie. Personally, I think it's a bit weird that she's kept it and that of all the things in the world it was her ex's hoodie. Who was she thinking about while you were wearing it? I can't help but think it might not have been you.
I'm a little surprised at all these comments. Maybe it's all you young people, but everyone assumes she's still attached to her ex. Maybe she is, but consider that it could also be just the memory of the experience, the situation, the moment of losing her virginity that turned her on. Recreating that moment with you could be what's important to her. Don't get too wound up in your head about it. People have histories and kinks, and she is with you now. I liked the comment that said to wear the hoodie all the time and make her associate it with you. Take charge, and take pride in turning her on.
Pavlov's girl. Saying you'd never seen that side of her before is probably the way to go here. Talk to her about it, say you liked her being and get the confidence into her that she can be that way with you and that the hoodie is exactly what it is, just a hoodie.
Isn't that technically Pavloving his girlfriend? Ahaha? More like deprogramming.
Fucking dude.
Diffy. PFSVJUCMSKZDQ.
I hear you. It's a delicate situation because her relationship with her ex only came to an end because he passed away. It's been years since his passing, but the hoodie tells me that she's still struggling to move on or process the pain of the loss, so I'm doing my best to be aware of her feelings on and under the surface and not just look at it through the lens of my insecurities. That being said, what happened still stings though.
Speaking from personal experience, she probably needs therapy. I struggled for almost a decade with a similar situation and it's almost impossible to sort out on your own. Also from my experience, It doesn't mean she cares less about you, just that she misses someone who was important to her, and often you end up obsessing over whether there was something you could have done to save them. She may be using that hoodie as a way of detaching herself from perceived guilt over his death.
You def should have included that caveat in the post.
Agreed. That's super important, and I 100% understand why she still has it.
First, as weird as it might seem, I think you're overlooking something super important here. After you practically begged her to, your girlfriend confided in you something that she probably hasn't shared with anybody else. If anything, it shows that she loves, trusts you enough to share something that personal with you. Don't spoil that, because in my experience, it's pretty perhaps she isn't over her ex, or perhaps the hoodie is a representation of something. Maybe she felt comfortable enough with her ex to expose a part of her that she otherwise keeps hidden, and by having you wear the hoodie, it helps her see you in the same way she used to see her ex. If the hoodie sticks around forever, there might be a problem, but as other have work on replacing it. If you end up becoming her next ex, make sure the next guy is trying to make her forget you.
Accept the hoodie. Use the hoodie. Become the hoodie. I like your suggestion. I'll have a proper discussion with my GF when I see her again on Sunday.
Yeah. That completely changes the story, lol.
She needs therapy, not an.
Definitely still weird to new boy in dead boy's hoodie.
Yeah, that just makes it weird in a creepier way, IMO, but at the same time I think it must take a lot of trust on her part, and she must be really comfortable with Ob to do something so vulnerable.
Comment exclusive twist.
Still couldn't be me, I don't think. It's different being attached to your ex that's passed away and then asking your current partner to wear his hoodie to get off. Like, I'd be out. I'd understand her situation and her feelings, but man, could I deal with that.
And if that doesn't work, throw her 16 feet through an announcer's table.
Hawk no los dos?
Have an actual, honest and blame-free conversation with for sake. Stop pressuring her to. Some women don't want an every single time they're penetrated. There is also a decent portion of the female population that can't from. It's also a lot more work for women to during, compared to what a man needs to get off. Plus we all have different needs. If she's genuinely okay with not having an during, pressuring her to have an is not going to get you anywhere.
From a female perspective, you do realize this isn't gonna end well for you, right? Like, she needs to properly grieve and put the hoodie away. You wearing the hoodie in any way isn't healthy for you or her, or the needs actual therapy, and if she can't do that, well, you enabling this hoodie thing.
Giphy. HTBKCJPHFD7 score.
Op was practically begging her to, though he said he was down for anything to get her off. Then he regretted it, probably because he was expecting some or something, but got a massive dose of emotional reality instead. She didn't ask him to wear it, she eventually relented to permitting him to wear it. Big difference.
I DK what happened with Reddit in last 5 years, but I'ma use the age-old saying that has long left subs like is above Reddit's pay grade. She needs to seek help from a therapist.
Excellent, like Dumbo. He doesn't really need the feather to fly, that ability is innate. But it functions as training wheels, a security blanket, to feel confident enough to trust in himself and his own hoodie as GF's feather.
As iodine monosulfide my witness, she is broken in half.
First love passed when I was young, and I still get reactions when I smell a cologne that smelled like him. Or when someone says things he used to do. Possible it's what I had to work on in my situation. I felt like I couldn't connect sexually to someone after him because he was the first person I had with, and it ended in some of the worst heartbreak. So I didn't, or couldn't, let myself let me guard down sexually with other men, especially if I had feelings for it. Took a lot of work for me to open up again to intimacy, and then in turn the idea of relaxing enough to let another person make me. It was like I was guilty for the intimacy if it wasn't with him, not because I was not in love or attracted to or sexually attracted to my current partner, but because my brain associated letting that guard down to and in turn losing. Can imagine it's not easy being on the other end of a partner that can't quite get over that mental block. I beat myself up for it every time we had and he got a little self-conscious because I didn't. But it wasn't because of anything my current partner did or didn't do. I just had no closure from my first experience. It was almost like my body had trained Itself to only have strong bodily reactions to the ex that passed because there were so many strong, unresolved emotions around him. I was also afraid to get too intimate because I associated it with losing that person. Therapy is what helped me, and now my now fiancé. Have a great life that's full of intimacy and exploration. It just took a lot of work to get my brain over that mental hurdle of associating intimacy with loss, and therefore, not being able to extend it to anyone but the person I lost.
Yeah, the ex being dead changes everything. It goes from hey, that's a really unhealthy attachment to a person she might see again and that really sucks for your relationship to hey, this is way above Reddit's pay grade, but it sounds like she is coping with the death of her boyfriend and she might need some more therapy for this is a good lesson and taking no for an answer and approaching sensitive topics in a different way. Sometimes it's better to ease into these things versus letting the dam break completely. The pestering is not a good trait to repeat.
No MF, take her to therapy. Her EXS death is a huge thing. Or try it IDCLMAOO.
I'm FKN howling of laughter in the office bathroom stall trying to take a GD and the other lady in the stall next to me left so fast she didn't wash her hands. Either way, good thumbs up.
The story gets more concerning as Op posts more info. They will both need therapy when the relationship is over. Guaranteed.
Hey, gonna come home from work one day to find her with a vibrator and a Ouija board.
It could have turned into the moon as well.
And not that he died whenever. The reason they aren't together is because he like how do you leave that out? Wait, why did they delete their comment? I am the top comment eyes.